Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got quite the collection of source material you've sent over this time. Diaries, internal police notes, observations, all painting a picture of Cooper's Chase.
Yeah, it's this luxury retirement village, looks completely peaceful, right? But the documents suggest it's hiding more secrets than you'd believe, almost like a Cold War spy novel, but with, tea and biscuits.
Exactly. So today, our mission is to really unpack the Thursday Murder Club, these amateur detectives, how they operate, what drives them, and how they tackle these huge investigations.
And it's more than just solving a crime, isn't it? It's about how their specific knowledge, their persistence, and honestly, how being underestimated becomes this incredible tool against the official way of doing things.
We're going deep into two specific murder investigations, one happening right now in the sources, and another that reaches back 50 years.
50 years, all connected to this one place. It's quite something.
Bodies, big money, secrets people have kept for decades. It's all here.
And while we're digging into all this, the data, the motives, the memories, we really want to hear from you. What's the biggest surprise for you in all this?
Yeah, definitely. Like this deep dive, drop a comment below with your biggest aha moment. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when we unravel these kinds of knowledge puzzles.
Okay, so our goal today, let's be clear. We're going to analyze how the Thursday Murder Club actually formed, how they worked together.
Right. And we'll dissect the motives, especially the financial ones, behind the murders of Ian Ventham, the developer, and Tony Curran, the builder.
And crucially, show how their, let's call them unorthodox methods, actually led them to a truth the police probably never would have found on their own.
Okay, let's start where the sources do. The setting. Cooper's Chase. It's not just a backdrop, is it? It's almost a character itself.
Absolutely. You need to picture this place. It's designed as this perfect final chapter, luxury retirement living.
Located where, exactly? The sources mention the Kentish High Weald.
Yeah, near Fairhaven, Tunbridge Wells. Affluent area. And this is key. It was built only about 10 years ago on the site of an old convent.
Sisters of the Holy Church, right?
Exactly. So right away, you've got this modern luxury built literally on top of decades of religious history, potential secrets baked right into the foundations. That detail is crucial.
And the people living there. Over 65 is the rule.
Right. And the sources give this great little detail that Waitrose delivery vans are always showing up, clinking with wine and repeat prescriptions.
Huh. Paints a picture, doesn't it? Sophistication, maybe a bit of comfortable routine, but also people with long histories. They've lived, they've worked, they probably know things.
Definitely. Status is still important there. And the place itself is a mix. The old convent building is still there, sort of central, and then newer parts like Larkin Court spiral out from it.
But it's not all perfectly smooth, is it? The sources mention these little quirks, like the recycling bins.
Oh, it's brilliant. Such a perfect example of the underlying reality versus the slick image.
So they have 4 bins. Green for glass, blue for paper and card. Simple enough.
But then there's red and black, and apparently nobody, not even the highly educated residents, really knows for sure which is for what.
So they just guess. Throw everything in.
Pretty much. Broken fax machines, general rubbish. It all goes in. It's this perfect little symbol. Looks organized, but the rules are confusing and maybe not even followed. Chaos under the gloss.
And amidst that, you've got these specific places that become important, like the jigsaw room.
Yes, the jigsaw room. It sounds so innocent. Big table sloping slightly, covered in perspex for serious puzzlers.
But it becomes their meeting room, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's perfect, overlooked, quiet. Who's going to suspect 4 pensioners discussing autopsy photos next to a half-done picture of, the Swiss Alps?
Joyce Meadowcroft, who wrote a lot of the diary entries we have, she really captures this mix, doesn't she? The history and the everyday oddities.
She does. She mentions Bernard Cottle helpful with gardening, know some recycling rules.
And then there's the guy who claims he invented mint choc chip ice cream.
Right. It's this blend of the genuinely significant and the slightly eccentric. These residents aren't just fading away, they're redirecting your energies. They have complex pasts.
Which brings us right to the core 4, the Thursday Murder Club. Joyce actually records how they first got together, right? Initially looking at a cold case.
Yeah, Elizabeth apparently just brings it up over shepherd's pie, asking Joyce about knife wounds. Very casual.
And that's Elizabeth, Ron, Ibrahim, and Joyce herself.
Those are the 4. And their dynamic is fascinating, especially how they see themselves. The sources mention PC Donna DeFreitas asking later how they became friends.
Elizabeth just shuts it down.
Immediately, oh, we're not friends, dear. Ron and Ibrahim jump right in, agreeing. Friends is definitely not the right word, they insist. More like a strategic alliance.
But Joyce, in her diary, she has the last word on that, doesn't she?
She does. She just quietly notes down that, yes, they are friends. They're just a little slow catching on.
I love that. And that makes the strategist, the agitator, the analyst, the quiet observer, that's what makes them work, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the friction, the different perspectives. That's their engine.
Okay, so let's dig into that. How do these different personalities actually function as an investigative unit? What are their roles?
Right. It's like they each have a specialty. Let's start with Elizabeth. She's clearly the leader, the strategist.
Her background is deliberately fuzzy in the sources, right?
Okay.
Lots of hints, but nothing concrete. Intelligence work seems likely.
Oh, yeah. Mentions of Yugoslavia, babysitting a Russian chess grandmaster, having a tank license. I mean, come on.
A tank license?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Apparently, she thinks tactically. Always. She knows how to lie, how to manipulate situations. She saw they needed a woman on the inside of the police force, for example.
And engineered that meeting with Donna using the nun story.
Exactly. Pure theater, but effective. She understands leverage, and she's probably the most, shall we say, flexible when it comes to rules. The end justifies the means for Elizabeth. She drives the whole thing forward.
Then there's Ibrahim Arif, the analyst.
Yeah, retired psychiatrist. He's the calm center. Grounded, he takes all the information they gather and makes sense of it. He calculates things, travel times, speeds. Rigorous.
He keeps them honest, factually speaking.
Pretty much. He's the counterbalance to Elizabeth's occasional leaps. Plus, the sources note he does Pilates, keeps himself fit, and makes excellent tea.
Important skills.
Crucial. But seriously, his psychiatric background is key. He can profile people, understand motivations, see patterns the police might miss. He looks for the psychological weight behind the actions.
Okay, then Ron Ritchie. He sounds like a character. The enforcer, agitator.
Both, I think. Ron is essential for kicking things up, for getting access where Elizabeth and Ibrahim couldn't or wouldn't. He's got that working class background, knows people.
He's the father of Jason Ritchie, the boxer, Red Ron.
That's him. So
Yeah.
he has that connection, that bit of local fame or notoriety. The sources describe him physically like a bull-nosed truck resting in a field. He's a presence.
And there's that fascinating detail about his hands shaking.
Yes. He has these tremors, but apparently they stop completely when he's in the middle of a confrontation or deep into the investigation.
So getting involved, stirring trouble,
Yeah.
it's almost medicinal for him.
It seems that way. It grounds the whole intellectual exercise in something rougher, more real world.
And finally, Joyce Meadowcroft, the documenter, the quiet one.
Former nurse, yeah. Meticulous diary keeper. And her role is maybe the most powerful in a way because nobody really sees her coming.
She's perceived as just chatty, harmless, overlooked.
Exactly. And that's her superpower. People talk around her, committee meetings happen, M&S lemon drizzle cakes get discussed.
Wait, lemon drizzle?
Apparently, Ibrahim is obsessed with the M&S food discussion boards online, and Joyce notes it. It's those little details. She sees DCI Hudson hates summer, things the police wouldn't care about, but the club uses it. Nobody suspects she's the one gathering all the subtle clues, the human stuff.
So where do they actually do their investigating? The jigsaw room, mostly.
That's their preferred base camp, yeah. Spreading out photos, notes. But Elizabeth is strategic even about location. Remember when they meet DCI Hudson?
Right, not in the jigsaw room. In Joyce's much smaller front room.
Deliberately. Elizabeth tells Joyce the tiny space is perfect for her purposes. Why? To make the DCI physically uncomfortable.
Classic psychological tactic. Box him in, make him want to escape. Maybe he'll talk more freely just to get out.
Precisely. It's a work trick, pure and simple. Intelligence tactics applied over tea and knitting patterns.
Okay, but hang on. A former spy who lies, a psychiatrist, an agitator, and a quiet observer. No official powers, no warrants. How do they actually get information the police, with all their resources, can't? Seems like a huge weakness.
You'd think so, but it's actually their strength. They operate outside the rules. And their key move, leveraging outside resources. People the police wouldn't even think of approaching.
Like Joyce's daughter, Joanna.
Exactly. Joanna is a high-flying financial expert. How do they get her involved? Guilt. Plain old daughterly guilt about not visiting enough.
Huh? Brilliant. Emotional blackmail as an investigative tool.
And it works. Joanna dives deep into Ian Bentham's company finances, something the police were struggling with or hadn't prioritized.
That's it, is crucial financial intel.
And then they trade it back to the police. They give DCI Hudson just enough to keep him needing them, to keep them involved in the official investigation. They stay relevant by being useful, by providing leads the police couldn't generate themselves. It's not about compliance, it's about leverage.
Okay, let's get to the murders themselves.
Yeah.
Murder number 1, Tony Curran, the builder.
Found in his kitchen, bludgeoned. The sources are very specific thanks to his Fitbit, 3:32 p.m., dead.
And the immediate suspect is his business partner, the developer, Ian Bentham.
Yeah. Bentham is, well, he's not painted sympathetically. Arrogant, rich, gold-plated glove box in his Range Rover, parks in disabled spots, listens to audiobooks called Kill or Be Killed, that kind of guy.
They developed Cooper's Chase together, but were falling out.
Big time. Bentham was cutting Curran out of the next big project, The Woodlands, a deal worth millions.
And Joanna's financial deep dive, the one they got through guilt-tripping her.
That gave them the magic number, the motive. Joanna found that Curran's shares in their joint ventures reverted straight back to Bentham on Curran's death value, approximately 12.25 million pounds.
Wealth. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a motive, $12.255 million.
Right. It's huge. It solidifies Bentham as the prime suspect immediately. Suddenly, all other theories look weak.
And we know they argued just before the murder at Cooper's Chase.
Yes. After a consultation meeting, Bentham apparently delivered the bad news about cutting Curran out outdoors deliberately with witnesses nearby.
Why? Was he scared of Curran?
The sources suggest yes. Bentham calculated the risk. He figured there was maybe a 10% chance Curran would attack him then and there, but that was worth the 90% chance of securing the tech's $12.25 million.
A cold calculation. He thought killing Curran first was the safer bet.
It seems so. Preemptive strike, motivated by massive greed.
But motive isn't enough for the police. They needed opportunity. Could Bentham have actually done it in the time frame?
And this is where the club steps in again with their unique methods. Elizabeth decides they need to test the timeline themselves.
The road trip.
The road trip. In Ron's car, the bull-nosed truck chassis, remember, but driven by Ibrahim.
Why Ibrahim?
Because he was the only one who could work the sat-nav.
Huh. Okay, so Ibrahim drives Ron's car.
To retrace the potential route from Cooper's Chase to Curran's house, they needed to know if Bentham could physically have made that journey between being last seen and 3:32 p.m.
And the key piece of witness information came from someone unexpected.
John Gray, Penny's husband. Very quiet man, usually in the background. But he noticed Bentham's big Range Rover leaving Cooper's Chase right after the meeting, at 3:00 p.m. on the dot, he said.
So Ibrahim takes that 3:00 p.m. departure time.
And does his calculations. Route average speeds possible on those roads.
And the verdict.
Possible. Definitely possible. Ibrahim calculated Bentham could have averaged about, 27.5 miles per hour and easily arrived at Curran's house well before the 3:32 p.m. time of death.
Opportunity confirmed. Motive confirmed. It's looking very bad for Ian Bentham.
Absolutely. The police, DCI Hudson, they must have felt they were closing in. Prime suspect, clear motive, confirmed opportunity. Case almost closed, you'd think.
Which makes what happens next even more shocking.
Exactly. Just as the focus tightens completely on Bentham, a second murder happens, right under everyone's noses.
This involves Bentham trying to push ahead with his development plans, the ones that involve the Garden of Eternal Rest.
Yes, the burial ground at Cooper's Chase. He needs to dig it up for the Woodlands development. Consecrated ground. You can imagine how that went down with the residents.
Leading to the barricade.
Oh, the barricade. This is peak Ron Ritchie territory. He leads this protest. Pensioners, sun loungers, parasols, thermoses of tea, photos of their grandchildren.
Locking the diggers.
Yeah.
Seriously. With deck chairs.
Yep. A full-on, passive-aggressive, highly effective blockade, turning resistance into a sort of polite garden party on the access road.
Bentham must have been furious.
Livid. He shows up, confronts Ron. They have a massive argument right there. And then Bentham just collapses.
Dead.
Instantly. Quick injection, lethal dose of fentanyl. The puncture wound is found on his upper arm.
And this happens. Where?
In front of witnesses.
Right there. In the middle of the protest, chaos. Dozens of witnesses, including Ron, the other club members, and crucially, DCI Chris Hudson himself. The lead detective witnesses the second murder.
Wow. Okay. So Bentham, the prime suspect for the first murder, is now the victim of the second murder in public.
Completely upends everything. It proves the killer is definitely still at Cooper's Chase, and it shifts the whole investigation. This isn't just a business dispute gone wrong. It's something much more complex, possibly serial.
And this second murder, this chaos, it's what brings PC Donna DeFreitas properly into the investigation, right? We need to understand her role.
Yes, Donna is key. She's a police constable, PC, So relatively junior, but ambitious. She used to work for the Met in London, big city policing.
But she transferred to Fairhaven, the local precinct near Cooper's Chase. Right, and she hates it. She feels totally wasted. Instead of investigations, she's dealing with, stolen bikes, people driving off from petrol stations without paying. Petty stuff.
Yeah.
Photocopying. Tying shoelaces that, as the source says, didn't exist. She's bored and resentful.
Right for the picking, basically.
Exactly. And Elizabeth spots this immediately. During some dull community meeting about security, she sees Donna is screaming out for excitement.
So Elizabeth makes her move, using the nun story.
Yep. Claims she's an ex-nun, needs to confess something sensitive, can only speak to a female officer. It's pure manipulation to get a one-on-one meeting with Donna, bypassing the usual channels. She gives Donna a taste of the real investigation she craves.
But how do they get her officially assigned to Hudson's team? He's the DCI, the boss.
More manipulation.
Yeah.
Ron and Ibrahim corner Hudson. They basically tell him Ron, with all his useful local connections from his colorful past, will only cooperate if Donna is officially involved.
They leverage Ron's value to force Hudson's hand?
Pretty much. They frame it maybe as some kind of mentoring initiative or inclusivity thing. Hudson is pressured into adding Donna to the team, sort of as a liaison.
So the club gets their inside source, and Donna gets the excitement she wanted.
Win-win. For them, anyway. Hudson probably wasn't thrilled, but now they have a direct line into the official investigation.
Okay, so now they have two murders, an inside track with the police, and then the investigation takes this massive leap backwards in time, doesn't it? Thanks to Bogdan.
Bogdan Jankowski, the Polish builder. He was originally hired by Ventham. He's quiet, reliable, fixes things around the village. Elizabeth has been cultivating him, using the alias Marina.
The alias.
Probably just Elizabeth being Elizabeth. Compartmentalizing, maybe making Bogdan feel he's part of something secret, more likely to confide. And he does. He tells her something staggering.
What did he find?
While he was doing some initial prep work for Ventham's development in the Garden of Eternal Rest, specifically preparing a gravesite that needed moving away, he found something wrong.
Two bodies.
Two bodies in one grave. One skeleton inside the old oak coffin, where it should be, but another skeleton, clearly much newer, just lying on top of the coffin lid.
Wow. Okay. What does the club do with that information?
What do you think Elizabeth does? She organizes a clandestine operation. The Thursday Murder Club goes out under cover of darkness and digs up the grave themselves to confirm Bogdan's story.
They dug up the grave. Illegally.
Oh, absolutely. Rules don't apply when they're onto something this big. They confirm it. Two bodies, decades apart, linked by this single spot.
This changes everything. They realize the two current murders might be connected to this much older secret.
Exactly. And this discovery is so huge, it forces DCI Hudson to finally, properly cooperate. Elizabeth basically tells him he has to swallow his pride and work with them now. They have evidence of a potential decades-old murder the police knew nothing about.
And the older body, the one in the coffin, was from when? The 1970s.
The grave marker indicated 1971, so they know they're looking for someone connected to the old convent back then, who might still be around Cooper's Chase now, someone who knew about that specific grave.
And the truth about that 1970s burial starts to come out through Father Mackey.
Right. They track him down. Turns out he's actually Dr. Michael Matthew Noel Mackey. He was a priest at the convent back then.
And he confesses about the body in the coffin.
He confesses it was Sister Margaret Ann Farrell, Maggie. She wasn't murdered. She committed suicide in 1971, hanged herself in the chapel.
Why?
She was pregnant. By him, Father Mackey.
Oh, wow. So the original secret, the reason for the hidden burial, was to cover up the suicide and the scandal of a priest getting a nun pregnant.
Exactly. A massive cover-up by the church and the remaining sisters. They destroyed records, sent Mackey away, buried Maggie secretly in the garden. Mackey even had a secret named Patrick for the baby carved under the headstone years later. A 50-year-old tragedy.
Heartbreaking. But that only explains the body in the coffin. What about the newer skeleton on top of it?
That turns out to be Peter Mercer, a former soldier.
And who is he?
He was the man who had murdered his girlfriend, Annie Madeley, decades ago. A cold case. The police never caught him. Mercer got away with murder.
So, Mercer the killer ends up buried on top of Maggie, the suicide victim. How? Why? Who put him there?
This is where the final pieces start to click together for the club. They realize someone else must have known about Mercer, known he killed Annie Madeley, and decided to deliver their own justice.
And that someone was?
Penny Gray. John Gray's wife. Remember John, the quiet husband who saw Ventham leave? Penny used to be a police officer back in the 70s.
A police officer?
Yes. And she was apparently deeply frustrated that Mercer had slipped through the net. So she took action herself. She killed Peter Mercer.
How?
Using pentobarbital, a drug used for animal euthanasia.
Which her husband, John the retired vet, would have had access to.
Exactly. So Penny kills Mercer. And John, out of love and loyalty, wanting to protect his wife, helps her cover it up. He needs to hide the body.
And he knows about the secret graves in the Garden of Eternal Rest.
Precisely. Maybe he was connected to the convent somehow back then, or just knew the local secrets. He buries Mercer's body on top of Maggie's coffin, thinking it's the safest, most hidden place imaginable.
Wow. So that secret, Penny's murder of Mercer, hidden by John, has been sitting there for decades.
Until Ventham's development threatened to expose it all. The club puts it together when Karen Playfair, visiting her father, sees an old photo and recognizes John Gray from the 70s era of Cooper's Chase.
And this leads to John Gray's confession. He killed Ian Ventham.
Yes, he confesses he used the fentanyl during the chaos at the barricade.
But why? Not for money, obviously.
No.
Yeah.
Purely to protect Penny. She was ill by this time, incapacitated in the nursing wing. If Ventham's diggers unearthed Mercer's body, Penny's secret, her crime from decades ago, would be exposed, and she couldn't defend herself. John killed Ventham to keep that 50-year-old secret safe, an act of desperate love.
That's incredibly complex. Murder for greed by Ventham, followed by murder for love by John Gray. How does the club react to that, especially someone like Elizabeth?
They see the tragedy of it. The sources suggest they understand the immense weight John carried. He expresses deep shame, calls his actions unforgivable, but done for the person he loved most. The club, they investigate, but they also see the human cost, the history. It's not just black and white for them, like it might be for the police focused purely on the law.
So the police get their man for Ventham's murder. John Gray confesses. The 1970s mystery is solved. Case closed.
It seems that way to the police. They have John for Ventham, and they believe Tony Curran's murder, the first one, was likely carried out by criminals from his past, maybe Johnny Gundu's, based on evidence found.
But there's a final twist, isn't there? Something only one person knows.
Yes. A huge piece of information that hasn't reached the club or the police yet. It comes via Stephen, Elizabeth's husband.
The quiet third husband. What does he find out?
He plays chess with Bogdan, the Polish builder, the man who found the bones. And Bogdan, perhaps feeling safe or maybe needing to unburden himself, confesses something to Stephen.
What?
Bogdan confesses that he killed Tony Curran. Not gangsters. Him.
Bogdan killed Curran, but why?
Revenge. Apparently, Curran was responsible somehow for the death of Bogdan's friend Kaz years ago. Bogdan saw his opportunity when Curran was vulnerable, took it, and then cleverly planted evidence that photograph found near the body to point the police towards Curran's known criminal associates.
So Bogdan committed the first murder, let Ventham take the initial heat, then John Gray inadvertently covered Bogdan's tracks completely by killing Ventham and confessing.
Exactly. Bogdan laid a false trail, and circumstances conspired to make it stick. The police think Curran's case is solved, or at least attributable to organized crime. The Thursday Murder Club thinks it's solved, but Bogdan is still there, fixing things, playing chess, the successful uncharged killer hiding in plain sight.
Incredible. The ultimate hidden player.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Beyond the immediate plots, the sheer depth of secrets hidden beneath such a, well, a seemingly ordinary surface.
Yeah, two murder mysteries, tangled together across 50 years. And the motivations. Pure greed for one, desperate love for the other. It's quite a spectrum.
And the takeaway for anyone listening, for you, the learner trying to understand complex situations, it's the power of different kinds of attention, isn't it?
Absolutely. Elizabeth's strategy, Ibrahim's logic, Ron's energy, and Joyce's quiet observation. They weren't official, but their combined, diverse focus just ran circles around the standard police procedure.
It shows you, doesn't it? The person everyone overlooks, Joyce maybe, or the quiet spouse like John Gray, they often hold the most important piece of the puzzle. Never underestimate the quiet ones.
So we've solved Ventham's murder, we understand the 1970s secrets, but that leaves us with this massive loose end.
The provocative thought, right. The Thursday Murder Club thinks they know the whole story. The police certainly do. But they don't know about Bogdan.
He killed Tony Curran, and only Stephen knows. For now.
So will Joyce's next diary entry somehow pick up on something? Will Bogdan make a mistake? Or has he played it so perfectly that he'll just get away with it, living quietly among them? That's the question hanging in the air.
A chilling thought to end on. If you enjoyed this deep dive into strategy, secrets, and surprisingly lethal retirement villages, please do leave us a review.
Yeah, subscribe for more deep dives like this one and share it with anyone you know who loves a mystery with layers upon layers.
Let us know in the comments which tactic used by the Thursday Murder Club did you find the most ingenious. Was it the jigsaw room meetings, the nun routine, leveraging Joanna's guilt?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until the next deep dive, keep looking beneath the surface.
Keep digging for the truth.